Welcome back to Streamline Entertainment. It is Marvin speaking. Just a short video on Brad Bradley information on how Amy was removed. And I have heard some stories is that she was removed off the back of the boat where rubbish is taken off by staff on that boat, and Amy could have been smuggled off there. Let's get straight into this.
Removed down on the bottom of the ship, and there is some information that I have as to how they did it. That actually our investigator has asked me not to share quite yet, but want anything to be compromised with his investigation that's ongoing.
Yeah, and we wouldn't want that. Can you say did that happen there at that port?
I believe so. I don't know. I believe so. So, there was a lot of activity on the backside of that ship. I'll say that that was on the water side, not on the side where people disembark. I don't think she was taken off via gangway. I think.
But I mean, someone said in the chat at the end of the day that basically he keeps changing his story, but there's so much information to look at the end of the day. And Brad Bradley has to look at everything. Cheryl says in the chat, she said Amy's dad was targeted for Amy. That's why he won the cruise. She said Yellow didn't do it, and more Slender Man did, but Amy went through the kitchen, then was drugged, blindfolded, then taken. She got in a cab, then taken to a place where she was constantly drugged and then sold. She was trafficked for years. I had 2 kids, stays to be close to the kids. Now she's on a very remote island with nothing. They keep her around to take care of animals and other things they need her for. She will be found. Interesting stuff that is, Cheryl, what you say at the end of the day. But like I said, it just makes you wonder why she hasn't reached out. I know that sometimes when you can be away and in that system where you're controlled is very, very hard at the end of the day. And sometimes you know, for safety of your life, you just do what you're told. What account are you watching Sloan on? It's not in the one I follow. Where can I watch this? YouTube. Let's get into a little bit what Sloan Bella is saying. But like I said, interesting information by Brad Bradley, and I'm glad he's still on the case, obviously for his beloved sister. So this is Sloan Bella. She's quite sort of famous on TikTok, and a lot of people have told me to go and see what she's saying. So Sloan never misses. Listen to how she describes what happened to Amy Bradley and where she is now. She is alive. And like I said, this is only her theory, people. Let's get straight in this and let me know what you think of her or you've come across her before, because I have heard some good things about her. Let's get straight into this.
And I'm looking around, and I went with you because you said you want to see what goes on in the kitchen. And me, if I'm her, am going down there. I'm going down a hallway, and I'm going underneath this kind of area with a bunch of silver stuff across the top. So like ducts, like air conditioning ducts or whatever. And I'm going into the kitchen, and I'm casually talking and eating something. That's what I'm doing. I'm very casual. Nothing's happening. Nobody's jumping out. No one's grabbing me. People have towels. They're wiping their hands. They're walking over there. Somebody's chopping something up over here. Like, it's like we're getting ready for the day, and she's down there. And then her friend, young male friend, and I don't think it's this yellow person. I think it is somebody else. It doesn't look, the person looks more angular than that guy looked. So thinner is what I'm saying, and has dark hair. And she's casually eating, and she's like,
sorry, excuse me, people. I just want to go in. Sloan Bella is a self-proclaimed psychic medium and astrologer known for her celebrity predictions. After establishing her career in Canada, she moved to Los Angeles and gained wider public attention. So she's quite famous through her appearances on television and social media.
following him. Now, why is she following him? Because they're going to go smoke some weed. This is what I get. She's following. This is so casual. Like, there's no alarm bells going off with her. She's not noticing it. She's just like, yeah, let's go over there and do that. Out this way. This is where we go to do this. We go over here. And there's like 3 other people. And it's like a side part off of the ship, off of the kitchen. I have no idea what that is, but that I've never been on a cruise ship, so I don't know. But she's standing there in like a smoking room. I want to say it's like a smoking room, or where people are smoking, but they're lighting up the weed, the ganja, whatever. They're lighting, they're doing this, they're doing it, okay? And talking and laughing and like, you know, eating. And this is what I get. Like, it's almost like a dinner party in someone's hotel. So I am not feeling anything if I'm her. Like, there's nothing that I'm feeling and nothing that I'm scared about. And then I keep following this guy because he's like, hey, you want to see this? You want to see that? And then suddenly my world goes dark. Okay? Suddenly my world goes dark. I feel this is early morning, around 7. I do not feel that Amy jumped off the boat. I do not feel she took her own life. I do not feel her dead. I can't say that.
I never ever thought Amy basically went overboard and drowned. I never thought that. I just think it was the simplest explanation to close this case down. And I'm so glad her parents and brother kept the case going at the end of the day, because I do think that she was trafficked off the boat. But maybe Yellow basically knows more about it than what people think, or at least he knows what happened to her, even if he did have nothing to do with her basically being trafficked off that ship. But like I said, an eyewitness did see him on the beach with another guy and her.
And I immediately want to go back to, it's really weird, green eggs and ham. Sam, I am. I really want to go back to that Dr. Seuss story and say that. So I'm assuming it's everybody's getting ready for breakfast, and I don't know when they serve breakfast on the ship, but I'm going to put it around 7 a.m. what I'm seeing. And nobody's suspicious of her walking around. Like, this is just normal. Like, probably cute girls go with the guys on the cruise ship and they go wherever they go, right? But her world goes dark. So it's around 7 and she can't see. So I actually feel that somebody gave her Benadryl or the likes of Benadryl or cough syrup or something that you get over the counter that's basically undetectable, meaning it'll knock you out or make you drowsy. But if it's caught in your body, it's like, well, she's got cough syrup.
Very interesting.
Like, no one's drugging her. It feels like that. It doesn't feel like there was an elaborate drugging scenario going on here. Just really casual. Like, I'm going to give you, here, have a shot of this. There's some Benadryl. I do get they were drinking in the morning and eating. It's kind of like, I get the crunching of like celery. I don't know, could have been apples, but it strikes me like a vegetable. It's like I'm crunching, I'm eating, I'm walking, I'm smoking weed, I'm going over here. She went to go with somebody and it feels like, hey, do you want some of this? I'm going to come, let's go this way. Now, after that point, I feel like she's taken blindfolded. So in a cab, in a car, in a vehicle with wheels, not like walked through anywhere, but literally we get into a cab or a cab-like car service and she's basically blindfolded. She can't see. So maybe this means she has a hat, a hoodie, something on, and she was targeted for her bloodline gene pool. Okay. So whatever it was that they saw on her appearance or who she was targeted for that reason. Now, here's the weird thing about it. I feel like everybody was waiting for this to happen. Like, this was specifically targeted and meant to be her. Something about the way she looked. It could have been eye color. It could have been genetics. It could have been her height, her weight, her stature, but that was requested. That was needed. So somebody wanted that specifically and particularly. It was very particular when it came to her. I see her waking up and she's really cold. So this to me is the night after she disappeared. Now, the reason this, take it, leave it. The reason the cruise ship didn't look at it more, and I'm going to say something outlandish here. The cruise ships are a cover up or a blanket for this kind of thing. So they're not going to look for you. They don't have to. And
I agree, because the captain or the manager was very, very blasé about doing a basically deep dive search for Amy, which was quite bizarre. And the odd sort of people coming out, like Yellow's bandmate member said he would never do it. I think a lot of people were getting backhanders for women coming off this boat and being trafficked. I think there was a lot of money exchanged. And a lot of these people have only come out recently because I think they feel uncomfortable, people like Yellow.
They know that she went down in the kitchen, so they aren't supposed to like let you,
Very
random
true.
person
Just
on the
people
boat,
lose
go
their
down
jobs.
and touch the food or be around the food or hang out with the food, because people can get sick, people can get drugged, whatever. I mean, I'm sure they have policy around that. That is why they kind of hid things. I do feel a conversation going on between two people, two men on the ship that are like directors, managers, directors, one with a serious hat on, not the captain, but somebody who wears a hat and walks around. I don't know if he's a constable on the ship or what, but they're talking and they're trying to deflect from what's happening. The parents were definitely gaslit, but the father was targeted and his family was targeted prior to them getting on the ship. I don't know why. I couldn't really pick it up except to say he won the cruise because he was competitive, and it was like a gambling thing. Like, I'm gonna win this. I'm gonna do this. Fuck you. I'm gonna win it. I won it. But they let him win it, not because he couldn't have won it, but they needed him to win it. So there's a specific reason that he won this. And that's kind of the strand of thought. When you read energy around things, you can read it from the perspective of, however you want to read it and however you choose to see it. But there's usually off for a 5-hour stop at a port as a family. You're just tourists. You go buy t-shirts. You go ride a for that type of thing. Like, you better not have mics on you if you want to come in here and you want to talk. Take your clothes off. You're down to your underwear. I better be able to see through your underwear. I'm going to pat you down, and I got a gun in your face. So this is a bigger operation. It's run out of a little island that is inconspicuous. I don't even think it's an island on the map. I don't even think we know where she is. That is the home base for what goes on. And you ask why she doesn't leave. Number one, is she supposed to swim through the ocean? No. Number two, she's watched people be murdered and brutalized. And so that's terrifying to her. And number three, they have a kid and they put a hold and a lock on her for that reason. And that's what I get. No mother's going to jump in the ocean and leave her kid behind. 4, she's not going to leave this circumstance because she can get to her kid, and it's her kid. Like, it's out of her body. Does this mean she wanted a kid? No, she was probably most likely forced into that, like baby breeding farming. This is something that's going on. I found it really interesting with the Navy guy, the Navy person that ran into her in a brothel and didn't mention it because he was worried about himself. It's like, dude, like, I don't even know what to say to that. She is still alive, though. I cannot feel her energy on the other side. How I see her right now is she doesn't look bad, but she's kind of broken in her mind. She does have longer hair, like the one picture that they saw, and she is on drugs, and she does walk around slightly homeless. But where she walks around is nowhere where you and I would be. It's not like a typical island where people go. It's off and hidden. So she can walk around this island, and she takes care of things. This is going to sound weird. She has animals that she looks after, and it's her job to do this now that she can't produce other things. So they trust her enough not to leave, but they don't let her go still. And yet she's not as productive as she once was, but she's productive in a different way. So she's
Understand.
She's in a position of servitude at this point to other people that are doing what she was doing when she was first taken to this island. And it is an island we don't know. It's nothing that's been mentioned. It's not on a map. It's not easily anywhere you can get to. It's just this island that just is like a dot with a bunch of trees around it and chickens on it. It's really weird. It's an impoverished island, but they're there. They have big time stuff going in there. Sometimes a plane flies there, but the plane is connected to the cruise ships in the bigger port. So this is a trafficking thoroughfare and they spotted her. But again, I'm going to say this, they spotted her before she got on the cruise, and they spotted her through whatever their beef was with the father. In other words, that sounds weird, and I'm by no means blaming him. Sometimes that
Interesting stuff. Very, very interesting stuff. If I can find the second part to this, I'll definitely play it because it's very, very interesting information. I think she talks very well, Sloan, about Amy Bradley and what may have happened to her. This is just a theory, but I thought it was quite deep. Let me look at some of the messages, people. Everyone was saying it. She definitely called the Diddy situation. This woman, Amy Bradley, is no longer with us. It says Rosa. Her life went dark, means she died. Sloan. It doesn't always mean that. No, it means it took a dark turn. No, that's your personality. Listen closer. Her light went out 27 years ago. These conspiracy theories are getting out of control. Let her rest in peace. I watched this right when she put it up because I love Sloan Bella, and I love what a majority of intuitive Hal said she's still alive and that they feel she has 2 kids, BC. I always felt that she may have had children, people. And I also think that basically she wouldn't want anything to happen to these children, and she just helps out where she can. I do think she's been abused a lot mentally and physically. And I think she is the one that's probably looking around basically her family's birthdays and stuff like that, because I think it's quite important to her. But I do think one of the reasons over the last, say, 10 to 15 years, things have gone quiet on sightings of her because she possibly had children. And it's quite sad to say, because obviously baby farming was actually mentioned here by Sloan, which could possibility. And like I said, in the early days of me looking into this case, people said she was picked for a reason and because of her bloodline, which is really deep. And someone requested her before she even got on that boat, which is quite strange at the end of the day. So she'd been watched probably about entering the boat and said, yeah, that's the one for us, which is quite bizarre because don't forget, maybe Yellow was in on basically taking pictures of people and saying, look, do you want this one? Is she good for you? Or basically got good genes, and is this someone we can actually traffic? I think it's an organisation that's been going on for many years. And like I said, I hope one day Amy is found, or basically get a message to her, basically her family and her brother, who search high and low in looking for her at the end of the day. But I do believe that she did get off that ship. That's my viewpoint. Yes, people think she may have died and went overboard. I get that theory, but it's just not a theory in my conscious mind that I think that she did die. I think she was taken off, and I think those eyewitnesses who did see her were 100% correct, especially in the early days on Caraco. Let me know what you think, people. I will do a part 2 on Sloan. I think it was very, very interesting, and to put that out there. Thank you very much indeed.